Welcome to the main menu of Alan Wake Remastered. I'm BurningDogFace, and we're here doing an episode 0 because there's some things I really wanted to say before we properly got into Let's Play Alan Wake again. But I didn't want to just shove them into the intro of the first episode and drag out the time before we actually get into the gameplay. So, to start with, the most important factoid here is the fact that, as I would hope the name of this series at least suggests, this will not be the first time I've done a Let's Play of this game. I haven't deleted the original series from my channel or anything. You can still find it if you scroll back far enough in my playlists. But you're gonna have to keep scrolling for a while because I did that series all the way back in 2012. That was near the very beginning of my Let's Play journey. So then the question becomes, why am I coming back to it now? And, well, there's a lot of very small answers to that question. But in the interests of brevity, it does basically boil down to 3 big ones. Number 1, I guess you could say that time marches on. And I'm not just talking about the visuals being better this time around. I mean that, well, hell, even my standards and abilities as a Let's Player and a video editor have improved in the last decade. You know, so as proud as I was of the old series after I made them, the further away they get, the harder it becomes for me to recommend those series to people. Because, well, they just seem so crude and primitive by comparison, you know? I mean, I didn't even start using the little mini clips to soften the transition of my jump cuts, until 2013. A full year after this one. So I thought, hey, if I came back and I, did a series again, I could make something that really does justice to this game. Something I would be proud to recommend to people. I'm not saying the graphics aren't any of it, but they aren't the biggest part of, time marches on. The second reason is the story. Real talk, not to blow expectations too high or anything, but honestly, Alan Wake has one of my favorite stories out of, among all the games I've Let's Played, it's definitely on the favorites list. The issue being that I came to realize earlier this year, when I was doing a Let's Play of Control, a later game by the same developer, which heavily references Alan Wake and, even has a DLC chapter that furthers the story of Alan Wake. Well, I came to realize that I do remember the plot of Alan Wake. I know where the story goes. But I have forgotten entirely vast swaths of fine details. Entire scenes and characters were missing. And I'm not getting on my case for that. It has been 10 years. But I just thought that if I came back and I did another series, it would be the perfect opportunity to refresh my memory of the story in the most direct way possible. And hell, that might actually be prudent because they're finally getting around to doing Alan Wake 2. Finally pulled it off. And, well, to be perfectly frank, big reason number 3 is that the existence of Alan Wake Remastered gives me the perfect opportunity to solve problems number 1 and 2 simultaneously. And you want to talk about doing justice to the game. Right from square one, I will at least be uploading them in 1080p instead of 480p. That's even without the in-game graphical upgrades. I'm told it's running on the same graphics engine as Control, which I thought looked amazing, though they hid it very well, given that most of the game takes place in a really, really bland 50s-style office. But that's very intentional, as you realize as you fire guns in the environment that pretty much everything in it splinters and destroys realistically. So yes, it should look a lot better. And that's the basic gist of it. I wanted to come back and do a proper series that I could straight-facedly recommend to people without being embarrassed about it. I wanted to refresh my memory on the story, and I thought that the remastered version of the game was a great excuse to do it. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to say here. I think that'll about do it, honestly. Just wanted to get that stuff off my chest. So, thank you for watching episode 0 of Let's Play Alan Wake again. I'm BurningDogFace, and I'll see you when the series properly begins.